Hey Lindsay, how you doing, sweetie? Yeah, she's awesome. Love her. Preventive maintenance. That's what this topic is going to be about. It's not too long. It's kind of short. The image on the front is self-explanatory, with the M16 being cleaned and the Bible line next to it. So like that really does kind of shed light on there. The really only painful part about this with that I wanted to stop and talk about for a couple minutes that really hit me hard was and there are Bible verses that I will throw down in the description down below. They do add some clarity and shed some light on this, but things are just going to keep getting worse no matter what we do. It's just a matter of time, and there's a different schedule at play here that God is waiting on. We can only speculate and guess, and there's definitely evidence that shows things are getting worse, but what God is waiting for, we don't really know. All we can do is guess on that. And yes, there is prophecies and there's other parts in Scripture that kind of like shed light on what will happen, even though it could be interpreted a couple different ways. Revelation is definitely in there as far as like some of the stuff that could happen, that will happen, but how is just a matter of up for debate and discussion. So let's just say moral degeneracy and the love of self are going to increase as according to Scripture, and that's something that we need to be aware of. The more we suffer, the more we go through, the more we come to realize there is a lot of truth in that. It's not like it's all going to fall apart and that there's no hope whatsoever, but it's just we need to pace ourselves. We need to pray more, we need to pace more, we need to turn to God more, because in all honesty, we're not supposed to fight this anyway on our own strength. We're just supposed to go to God in prayers and petition, with praise and thanks as well. It's not always just approach God and pray, nothing else. Praise and worship does matter too. Be thankful, be grateful in all things. And there are scripture verses that back that up as well. It's just hard to be grateful, and it's hard to be thankful when you know things are just going to fall apart regardless. Especially if you're living through it and you're seeing it. And I know some of the survivors of World War II, there's a lot there that some of the survivors struggle with for the rest of their life. Continuously. Just because the war ended doesn't mean that everything got better instantaneously. No, definitely not. Oh, all right. Military speaking, I think it's pretty clear cut. You got your gear, you want to make sure it is ready to go. You could just, grab it, walk on out the door, and go wherever you need to. Easy. Now, that being said, in my old unit, it was a mobilized brigade unit that was experimental at the time. And the cool thing about that is, instead of picking people from different units and putting them together, the idea behind this was everyone knows each other. We should be that more effective as a unit. They would pick us up and just drop us all off where they needed us right then and there. And the idea is that we're supposed to be an effective force because we already knew each other. We don't need to worry about some of the stuff that comes along with dealing with people you don't know or trust. Anyway, that's the idea behind it. My old unit has been shut down and integrated into the engineering unit, some engineering unit, I don't remember which. This was back in 2013 or 2014, I think. Oh, man. Sometimes I miss the military. I miss the lifestyle, the high speed, just constantly doing stuff and just going and going and going. I love that. And as much as things are, it's a lifestyle that I'll never really completely forget. Anyway, to round things up, actually, there's one more thing too. For the reserves and the National Guard, because the reserves are more on the government side and the National Guard is more on the state side, those are always prepped and ready to go for national emergencies. For the emergencies that would pop up, like hurricanes and tornadoes and stuff like that. That's important. So preventative maintenance goes a long way with making sure that things happen in our own state that we are ready to go. Now, the last part here is the most simple and easiest thing. And for those who've been following me for a couple of years, Magic the Gathering is something that I've been heavily invested in for a while. And there's a couple of videos that do reflect that. The Graveyard Matters comes to mind with that. And that being said, counterspells. For those who play blue, being able to say no and dictate when and where things are allowed, yeah, that matters. Even though Izzet Charm is kind of a weak counterspell, it does everything that I love, because red-blue is one of my favorite color combinations. Being able to deal damage, being able to draw, and counter stuff. Yeah. Blue-black is pretty cool, but they're more shifty behind the shadows, so to speak. Rearrange things with the cards there and getting something in your hand, countering a spell, and possibly taking a creature out. These are modal spells. There's 3 different modes for these charms. Actually, there's some old charms too that are monocolor, which are really interesting because they go back like early 2000s, late 1990s, like 98, 99. Yeah, there's some interesting stuff there. And mono blue general wise, this guy interests me because he's in between control and in between artifacts. So kind of interesting. I picked this up not too long ago, and I would love to do something with it, but I'm not even sure what. I got a lot of stuff put away and packed up, but this stuff here, it's out here. I'm going to deal with it before I put it away. Smash Up is a fun game, and even though I'm not generally advertising, you pick 2 different factions, and you would kind of fight. Sharks, superheroes, mythic Greeks, dragons, changer bots, ignobles. Some of these are plays on words for the actual, like, some of the factions out there that are copyrighted. Changer bots are like, you know, Transformers. And there's something indicating Star Wars, but I'm blanking on the name of that. Anyway, fun game, super fun. Get it. You will not regret it. I don't think there's anything left, but if there's any questions or anything, just leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. It really hits me hard, the fact that things are going to get worse no matter what we do. But even still, we shouldn't lose hope, and we shouldn't give up just because things do get harder. All right, until next time.